Fip Sipper. Ooh, that ended abruptly. Dillery Fip Sipper.
Cut it hard.
Helping out today on the live stream. If you listen to us on iHeartRadio, on the app, and you do it from out of state, I like to know where people are. Put you on this map back here. A handful of brand new bureau chiefs who have checked in. Erica listens in Gimpo, South Korea. I assume when the satellites are overhead. Neva is in Columbus. Ryan listens in Lakeland, Florida. TJ is in Savannah, Georgia. Chelsea listens up in Peterborough, Ontario. So thank you one and all. Cavs, the NBA season starts tomorrow night. Cavs will not play until Wednesday night. They'll be in Brooklyn to play the Nets. And then Friday, I think we're going to be live from the Romo Fijo on Friday. That probably won't affect you since the gates aren't even open until we're almost off the air. So I'm not sure how that's going to lay out. I know there are conversations being had about it, but that might be the plan for Friday. But Friday is the Cavs home opener against the Oklahoma City Thunder. A lot of people talking about Jada Pinkett and Will Smith. They did no shortage of, they did it at least a couple of times on SNL this past week, and I kind of dipped into that. I kind of been off the SNL thing for a while. But they had a couple of sketches that referred to it. And Meryl Streep and her husband are going through the exact same thing. Weirdly, she is not on a press tour about it. But Meryl Streep, who has been married to her husband for a long time, a guy named Don Gummer, Meryl Streep's children use Gummer as their professional name. Meryl Streep said that she and her husband have been separated for more than 6 years. They've been married for 45 years.
Sheesh.
When she was just a young, up-and-coming actress, they hooked up. He's a sculptor. Now, when your wife is Meryl Streep, and again, he was one of these guys that
Is that why she wins so many Oscars? Because he's sculpting them for her?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. They just spray him gold. Yeah, they've been married for a long, long time, and the girls are all grown. They've been grown, though. So, I mean, Mamie Gummer, I think, is in her mid-30s. And they have been separated for almost 7 years. Which is, but people aren't talking about that. They're keeping it private. Now, granted that, Jada's got a book to sell. And she and Will Smith are clearly, check my notes, psychotic. So I don't know what the Streep-Gummer situation is, but that's a pretty wild move, though, too, where they're like, we'll always care for each other and we have no plans to divorce. We've just chosen to live our lives apart. I mean, there's no victims in a situation like that. Meryl Streep is still seen in public frequently wearing her wedding ring. After 45 years, it's probably not even a difficult conversation anymore. You just go, look, you're awesome. And it's not like she got on Tinder, so he's like, you're great. Good luck with the sculpting. I hope that maybe you can sculpt yourself a girlfriend. You're in your mid-70s. You're kind of closed for business probably in many ways. But they have 4 kids. Their son is 43. So, and they've always led a very quiet life for as famous as she is. And he's one of those guys that was always happy, like Dolly Parton's husband. Always happy to be in the shadow of his wife. So, I mean, they're grandparents now. But it runs very parallel to the Jada Pinkett and Will Smith thing, except these two aren't going on and on and on about it. Meryl Streep, famously back in the day, was dating an actor named John Cazale, who was in Dog Day Afternoon with Al Pacino. I think he was in The Deer Hunter. He was considered to be, is going to be one of the greatest actors of his generation. And I think he died of cancer. And so that was a big, big deal back then. That Meryl Streep had been like by his side the whole time. And, they'd only been together for maybe a year and a half. Lung cancer is how John Cazella died. So anyway, that jumped out at me as something that kind of runs parallel to the Jada Pinkett thing, but nobody's going to be doing SNL sketches on Meryl Streep. And she's on Only Murders in the Building. I don't know how many people are watching that, but I like that show a lot. She and Paul Rudd were in this latest season of that show. But, you know, you get to the point where you're in your mid-70s and you have grandkids and you go, we're way too old to be fooling ourselves or other people. So if this ain't it anymore, this ain't it. I'm going to live in my place. You live at yours. You live in your artist in residence, a place that smells like clay. And I'll live over here in the Arconia or whatever. So I don't know what happens there. Speaking of celebrities, we heard from one of our favorites, left a message on the iHeartRadio app. So pleased to hear from this person again, because we've heard from him before. Mm-hmm. Clevelanders know the voice all too well. I think a lot of people consider him, you know, a local hero, and he's left us another message over there on the iHeartRadio app. Little talkback button there.
Howdy, Alan. It's famous Cleveland native and film actor Tommy You-Know-Who. Here's a hint. I was in Volunteers with John Candy. I'm sorry I didn't reach out sooner, but I've been busy celebrating Cody's honor as the greatest sportscaster of all time. Please let Cody know that Chet has a fantastic Jamaican jerk chicken waiting for him whenever he feels irie. Anyways, I hate the show and wish Mozgov would call in again. Just wondering how his barbecue sauce business was doing in St. Petersburg, Florida. One last note. Could you hit the post on Night Boat to Cairo by Madness?
Listen, Tom Hanks, I mean, one of the greats, one of the greats. He's so busy, but still has time to check in on this show, seemingly listening more closely than some people in other studios. So, boy, how does that make you feel, Poundcake, that Tom Hanks checks in with us again to
congratulate me?
Yes, to laud you.
It feels great.
Yeah.
When I moved to New York, I want to have...
When I moved to New York?
Yeah, when I
do you have an announcement you'd like to make?
No, not yet. Nothing's official, but I'm going to apply to be on The Breakfast Club. I'll be their new co-host.
When? Do they need a co-host?
I'll tell you what, everything's falling in line for Charlemagne, isn't it? This homie, he didn't give a rat's ass about any of those other two. He's like, yeah, because Envy's probably going to go to jail or at least get fired.
Angela Yee Benden left. She got her own show on the same station.
She held him up.
So I imagine they probably want a female co-host, but, you know, I'm halfway there.
Close enough.
Nobody understands the inequality of the sexes like a gay man.
Yeah. And they don't want to get canceled, so...
You think it's going to be Charlemagne and Cody?
Charlemagne, would it be Poundcake or no? They'll probably switch up my identity to make it more marketable.
I'm just saying, when you, in this business, when you go to another city, you are starting from scratch. So you can, it's like going to college from high school. You can reinvent yourself into whomever you want.
What? Yeah. Well, let me get an interview first. Let me fly out to the Big Apple and see what happens.
Mm-hmm.
So let me just...
You should just fly out and just show up.
Just show up.
Don't even have an appointment. Don't have anything scheduled. Just,
well, I am an iHeart
like
employee.
That. Yeah.
They would have me... I know a couple people there that I could probably get a tour from.
You already work for the company. It can't be that hard to get you in. I mean,
I know. I would text a couple people and say, hey, vouch for me. And then.
And when they see you coming and they hear you or they check out in this show to kind of, you know, check your bona fides or whatever, I think you're going to be really, really attractive to them, because here's a New York show syndicated with this company, the #1 media market. And they're not going to have to pay you any more than they pay you here.
Oh, yes, they absolutely
And that's going to be really, really attractive to them.
Yeah, have me move to New York and then pay me the same? Yeah, absolutely.
Well, you know that's what they would want to do.
Because they already, you can't lie about how much you're currently getting paid.
That's right.
They, like, literally have access to it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and I just would be like, no. Why would I do that?
Right.
Why would I move to a bigger city, higher risk, higher pay, or higher rent, and then have less money?
That's right.
No.
That's right.
I wouldn't do that.
Nor should you. You should hold their feet to the flame.
I would need...
And see what they come back with.
I would need at least...
And they go,
$37,000 a year.
They go, okay.
Did you hear what he said?
Oh, yeah. Yep, you're right. You would need at least that.
I would need at least...
And they would say, well, that's kind of our ceiling. So take a day to think about it. We'll put you up in the boiler room downstairs. And
I've lived in a boiler room. Not that bad, honestly.
So you
Warmer.
complain about it all the
Mary
time.
doesn't.
Again.
No, I didn't.
You didn't stay there, I noticed.
I lived there for like 3.5 years
Why didn't you live there for 4, Mary?
because I have a boyfriend.
Do you love it so much?
But
I
you
have a
didn't-
boyfriend.
You didn't move from the boiler room to there. You moved to the sky.
Yeah, I had more problems in the sky than the. Well, I was also sober in the sky. So maybe I was just drunk in the boiler room, and that's
That's
why
a
it
great,
seemed-
that's my favorite Belinda
Sober in the
Carlisle
Sky?
song.
But Cody, you get you a little boiler room for $37,000 a year. You can do it.
I have a couple.
Go out live in
again,
Staten Island.
I have a couple friends that live out there. I'm like, listen, I'll put out. Let me sleep on your couch.
God.
That's what they
The
want.
transactions this guy comes up with. I have a couple friends who I said I would put out
Or
for the couch.
or she's a girl too, so she's a personal trainer. So she'd be like, not necessary. You could just sleep on my couch.
I prefer public trainers. I got money to give you here. It is $1,000. They get you half a month's rent there with Cody. But he will put out. Give him the couch. It's $1,000 from the Buzzard Bookie. I hope you win. Good luck.
This is your chance to bet with the Buzzard Bookie and win $1,000 now. Enter this nationwide keyword at WMMS.com. Check. That's check. Enter it now at WMMS.com.
So are you going to put in for that, Cody? Because I think it's a very poorly kept secret right now that the company is going to be is currently looking for a new co-host.
It's not a secret at all. People, listeners have been messaging.
Well,
me.
but there's a
My
difference
brother sent me
between
it.
there's a difference between that and there being a blind box ad for it. That's what I
Well,
mean.
I all I gotta do is like apply on my little workday thing, so I'll just do that.
Yeah.
Well, that's what I'm pulling up right now. Is it in there?
Yeah.
Have you already looked at it?
Oh, they did post. Yeah.
They posted it. It's been posted for like a week, and I didn't know that they posted it. But my brother sent me this. He's like, "You gotta apply." I was
Yeah,
like,
of course.
Wait a minute. If it's posted in Workday, how would your brother know about it?
I can see it in Workday, but it's also posted elsewhere. Other people besides people
It's
who
like
work for
making the rounds. I've
Got
seen posts about it.
Yeah, I can access it through Workday, but other people can see it as well.
This says it pays between $240 and $330 a year. Would that be amenable to you? Is that something that you would? You think you could live on that in New York?
Man.
I mean, they've been rotating since Angela Yee left. They've been rotating the third chair, but it would be you and Charlemagne.
Envy
boy,
is
he-
probably gonna stay there.
He put you through the paces.
He would.
Envy ain't gonna stay there. They're looking to cut bait.
What if they?
They don't. You don't post a job. You don't post a job application on the company website.
Again, I think that's for Angela Yee's spot. They've been doing like I said, guest co-host for like.
Yeah, well, now they have 2, but they didn't plan on having 2 open. That's my point.
That's what I'm
So
saying. I don't think
they
he's
can
gonna-
take the same one, and whoever they take the giant pile of people who put in.
I'd be so pissed if they're like, yeah, we want to hire you on the Breakfast Club, but you're going to be doing the same thing you were doing with Alan. You're just going to be answering phones.
Well-
I'm like, I'm not moving to New York to answer phones.
But it's gonna be. Well, what would you want to do if they were to hire you? What would you tell them? You go, I'm not going to do the same thing.
I want to big up myself. Why would I move to? I mean, okay, if they said we'll start you out on phones and there's room for advancement,
I'm sure they already have a screener,
they probably do. But
so you're not going to take somebody else's job.
Well, this is the co-host position, so I'm applying to be for the co-host spot. So that's
Yeah.
what I would want. If I'm not qualified, I'm not qualified. But why would I not try?
Right.
Well, here's the qualifications that are listed. Are you proficient in Microsoft Office?
Yes,
He is not.
I am.
Familiar.
That didn't sound like a confident yes.
Proficient with Next Gen Vox Pro Tools.
Not Pro Tools, but Next Gen Vox Pro. Yes.
Okay, well, you
That's what I used in
2/3.
college.
That's good. Pleasant, charismatic, well-controlled voice with excellent pronunciation.
Oh my! This guy is out. He flopped before he even left the starting block. He fell over.
Excellent verbal and written. Excellent verbal and written communication, as well as editing skill. I can't even do this sentence. Editing skill.
She can't even get through it without laughing.
Proficient in grammar.
ER or AR?
AR.
Kelsey Grammer,
Oh, my
proficient in
God.
grammar. Andy or Kelsey?
Oh, God, that's so funny.
But this is where you hit your head, homie, with this kind of stuff. All this stuff you didn't think mattered.
4-year college degree, preferably in communications or broadcasting. That puts you ahead of someone like me or Bill.
Yeah, but they care about that the very, very least.
I don't know where Alan got that number because this salary says 130 to 170.
Well, that might be for the third chair. I'm talking about that envy spot.
Oh, I don't know. I'm just reading the post on our Breakfast Club co-host.
Yeah. So anyway, yeah, but you should absolutely put your face in there, Poundcake, because what they're most likely going to do, obviously they're going to grab somebody who already works for the company.
Yeah.
They're going to
be the
bump somebody up.
easiest.
But they'll grab somebody who's like already a main host in another market. Like they'll grab somebody from Houston or Chicago or Philly, and they'll go, hey, I know you got your own thing there. You want to come to New York? Because New York. Be second chair. My agent used to come to me with stuff all the time earlier in my career. I had a bunch of, I would always get offers to be second chair. I'm like, I'm not second chair. Like if you want to be making moves, you have to be the guy.
But see, that show is not a host show. Like there's three, it's like a almost like The View. There's no set host. It's like a round
But it's
table.
Charlemagne's show.
It's not Charlemagne's
yes,
show.
it
it
is.
is.
Yes, it is.
DJ Envy is the one that introduced it. Like,
That's why Angela Yee left, guaranteed. She's like, look, Charlemagne is sucking all the air out of this room. Everybody knows who this guy is. He's hustling. He's doing books. He's doing whatever. And he should. I mean,
He had that Comedy Central show.
you're on borrowed time.
But I'm sure she was tired of being the voice of reason.
Well, that's silly, though.
But I'm sure she wanted her own show, and she got it. She had
That's what I'm
been doing
saying.
stuff for a long time. And again, a panel show like that there is no set host, and he gets more attention because he's so like in your face. Like I remember when J-Lo visited the studio, he smelled the chair after she left. Like
That's why Cody wants a job.
He wants to smell all the
all the-
celebrities, yeah.
Here's the
chair
problem,
sniffing.
though. Here's the problem. A show like that, urban show, right?
Mhm.
They're so big on, and this is true in any market, so big on like being part of the community, right? We're out there in the community. We're in these streets, that kind of thing. You're going to have to be shaking hands and doing all kinds of crap you don't want to do.
He's too reliable.
Yeah,
Alan.
they
All
go
kinds
to
of crap.
iHeartRadio every year, like the festival every year, and they host that.
No. I mean, hey, you got to get out to Brooklyn
Be part of
to
it.
be part of this.
You got to be on the streets.
Be part of this food drive. That kind of stuff.
Oh,
You be out
And you
there-
got to
you
be
out there scooping potatoes au gratin.
you got to be black Cody more than white Cody.
I'll code switch. I'll switch.
That could be your name.
Code switch. COD.
Black Cody.
Yeah.
Ooh, I like that.
You remember the Breakfast Club? Code switch.
That's perfect.
Yeah, he can do the macho stuff.
That's so funny.
Yeah. Well, listen. You, at the very least, you should already be a couple days into hammering out your resume.
I'm on it.
How will you describe your position here? When they say, what did you do on the Alan Cox Show? How will you describe your duties?
Telecommunications executive.
You don't know what telecommunications are.
He's an executive.
You
of
don't
it.
work in the satellite industry. You work in the
Communications
radio
executive.
industry. Huh?
Communications executive.
Executive?
/ on-air talent.
You know the company you work for is going to realize you're not an executive
then
of
why
said
do I
company,
even,
right?
Why do I even have to zhuzh it up then? If they can
I didn't
see
say
everything
judge.
already.
I said, how would you describe what you, when they ask you, how would you describe what you did here?
Phone screener, on-air talent. That's mainly
very
what
vague.
Award-winning sports talker.
There you
There
go.
you go.
They're going to want more than, because everybody hitting them up is phone screener, on-air. Everybody's on-air talent.
I mean,
What makes you different? What makes you special? Why should they hire you? Give us the elevator pitch.
How would you take the Breakfast Club into the next phase? Because that's what it's going to be. Charlemagne ain't going to do that for. They're looking for somebody who can carry this thing into the next iteration.
no, I wanted to piggyback off of their fame. I didn't know I had to elevate
This
them.
guy,
Let me steal y'all followers.
I was just gonna do their.
he's so happy
I'm
being
here to
number
mooch.
2.
I didn't know all that.
Well, good luck.
Thanks.
I think it'd be a great movie.
I heard New York got snacks in the kitchen.
Oh, they probably do. Oh, I didn't think about that. They probably got the free stuff. If Chicago got it, New York definitely has it.
Chicago, of all the stations I've been to, Chicago had the largest spread of free things. So
Ooh, I can't wait to
just
see.
keep that in mind, Cody. Send in that application.
Mm-hmm.
I'm on it.
I'm going to break here. If you want to send a text for anything, 35192, AlanCoxShow.com. Want to watch, and we'll be back.
It's the Alan Cox Show on 100.7 WMMS and everywhere you go on our free iHeartRadio app.